In Frankfurt, Europol agent Nina Balmer finds herself in a tight spot, evading the black organization after catching Pinga infiltrating their building. Kerr is hot on her trail, speeding on her bike with hopes of being the one to apprehend Nina and perhaps spare her life. Kerr catches up to Nina on a bridge, whispering in German for her to jump into the river, creating a diversion as if attempting to shoot her. As Nina leaps off the bridge, Jin fires a bullet that pierces through Kerr's shoulder before hitting Nina in the head, ending her life. Jin reprimands Kerr, further fueling suspicion about her motives. The detective boys eagerly wait in line for a lottery, dreaming of winning a whale-watching boat tour. Haibara steps out to secure a ticket for limited edition Fusey Campbell products and lucks out with the last one. An old lady, arriving late, is disappointed at missing out, but Haibara graciously hands over her ticket. Sonoko and Ran take note, and Sonoko, impressed by Haibara's generosity, decides to invite everyone to her family hotel on Hachijo-jima, along with a whale-watching cruise. Subaru Okiya eavesdrops on the entire conversation. During their journey to Hachijo-jima, Conan and Haibara come across news about the Pacific Buoy, with Haibara recognizing one of its creators, Naomi Argento. Upon reaching Hachijo-jima, Conan briefly spots Shiratori on the island. After settling into their hotel room, Conan receives a call from Subaru, who informs him of Nina's demise at the hands of Jin and a black organization agent named Pinga with cornrows. They suspect the organization may have plans involving the Pacific Buoy. Conan, Haibara, Ran, Sonoko, Agasa, and the detective boys gear up for the whale-watching cruise, with Kogoro missing in action due to a hangover. While boarding, Conan spots another boat belonging to the Japanese police, with Kuroda and Shiratori aboard. He covertly sneaks onto the police boat, asking Agasa to cover his tracks by telling the others he mistakenly got on the wrong boat. As the police boat docks at the Pacific Buoy, Kuroda, aware of Conan's stowaway antics, calls him out. Conan meets Yosuke Makino, the Pacific Buoy's director and chief engineer, and Naomi Argento, a key engineer responsible for a system enabling worldwide identification through surveillance cameras and an all-ages facial recognition system. Yosuke and Naomi give Conan, Shiratori, and Kuroda a tour, introducing other main engineers, Grace, French engineer, Ed, Indian engineer, and Leonhardt, German engineer. They witness the launch of the Pacific Buoy's identification system. During a break, Conan, Naomi, and Grave head for coffee. Vermouth and bourbon infiltrate the Pacific Buoy, disguising themselves as cleaners through an underwater hatch. Passing by Conan, they are surprised by his presence, though he remains unaware. Vermouth and bourbon ambush Naomi alone in the restroom, kidnapping her and escaping through the same underwater hatch. Upon realizing Naomi's disappearance, the team uses surveillance to discover she was kidnapped by the cleaners. Since the hatch can only be opened by the main team, the culprit must be among them. Conan suspects Pinga in disguise. Magyar and Sato arrive to interrogate Yosuke, Ed, Grace, and Leonhardt. Vermouth and bourbon lock Naomi in a room, extracting a USB drive. They meet with Kerr and Vodka, revealing their mission to erase traces from Naomi's system. However, they stumble upon data suggesting Haibara and Sherry are the same person. Vodka proposes kidnapping Haibara, leading to objections from Vermouth, Bourbon, and Kerr. Vodka decides to work with Pinga, planning to get Rum to give Pinga the order, knowing Pinga's ambition to rise in the ranks. After dinner, Conan updates Agasa on the Pacific Buoy events, suspecting the organization's involvement. Haibara overhears, and Conan reassures her, giving her his glasses as a protective charm. Amuro tries to warn Conan of the organization's approach, but Conan doesn't answer. Pinga and Vodka arrive at the hotel, with Chianti spotting Haibara from her sniper rifle. Sensing the organization, Haibara tries to escape but finds Pinga and Vodka waiting. Knocked unconscious with ether, Haibara is kidnapped. Conan wakes up to the commotion, hastily leaving his hotel room only to discover Vodka and Haibara missing. Attempting to chase the organization, he soon realizes their escape is beyond his reach. The noise awakens Ran, who leaps from their hotel balcony onto the organization's car, engaging in a skirmish with Pinga. Conan spots Chianti aiming at Ran and manages to shove her out of the bullet's trajectory just in time. While Pinga and Vodka make their getaway with Haibara, Conan distracts Chianti, ensuring Ran's safety before pursuing Haibara on Agasa's car. During the car chase across the island, Agasa and Conan split up to corner the organization. However, they are caught off guard when Vodka drives the car off a cliff into the ocean. Determined not to let them escape, Conan skateboards off the cliff, diving underwater. To his surprise, the car is empty. As he searches for signs of the organization, he notices a submarine approaching and surfacing. Conan is swept away by the waves as the submarine emerges from underwater. Returning to land, Conan reunites with Agasa, who breaks down in tears, devastated by Haibara's loss. Conan reassures Agasa, vowing to rescue Haibara at any cost. Back at the hotel, Conan and Agasa report the case to Megure and Sato, but face disbelief in their story about the submarine. In frustration, Conan snaps and yells at them. Ran contacts Shinichi, conveying her helplessness and fear. She implores Shinichi to come and assist. Conan, making the call from the hotel's roof above Ran, assures her that if the need arises, he, Shinichi, will be there, revealing a single piece of the APTX 4869 antidote. Vermouth sends a message to the boss while boarding a flight from Hachijo-jima, expressing concern that the system might be a Pandora's box and a threat. Meanwhile, James Black, Jodie Starling, and Andre Camel arrive in Germany, meeting one of Nina's Europol colleagues. Conan contacts Subaru to explain the situation, emphasizing his focus on rescuing Haibara and requesting Subaru's assistance in dealing with the submarine. In light of recent events, Sonoko takes the detective boys home for their safety. She informs them that Haibara is unwell and hospitalized as a cover-up. Megure invites Kogoro and Conan to join a trip to the Pacific Buoy, while Agasa and Ran choose to stay on Hachijo-jima to offer help if needed. On the Pacific Buoy, the team struggles to retrieve surveillance footage to locate the submarine, discovering tampering with the system and footage of the car chase between Agasa and the organization. Haibara regains consciousness and finds herself locked in the same room as Naomi on the submarine. Naomi comments on Haibara's striking resemblance to a young Shiho Mayano. We discover that Naomi and Shiho were elementary schoolmates in the US, and Shiho had bravely stood up to bullies targeting Naomi. After developing her identification system, Naomi attempted to locate Shiho, and Haibara eventually appeared on the system, explaining her presence on the drive. Naomi blames herself for involving Haibara in this situation, but Haibara silently acknowledges that she, too, played a role in Naomi's predicament. Convinced that Haibara is Sherry, Vodka has asked Jin to fly in from Germany to verify it. While Kerr restrains Haibara with ropes, she manages to discreetly place a listening bug on Kerr. Amuro contacts Conan, informing him that Jin will be arriving later in the evening to board the submarine, meaning it will surface, presenting a single opportunity for Haibara and Naomi to escape. A new case unfolds on the Pacific Buoy. Leonhardt discovers suspicious records and identifies the culprit. Confronting the culprit in his room, Leonhardt is knocked unconscious. Later, in the Pacific Buoy's main room, a confession letter from Leonhardt claims to be the accomplice behind Naomi's kidnapping. Reviewing surveillance footage to locate Leonhardt, the team finds him getting coffee from the cafe, taking a pill, and succumbing to poisoning. In Manila, while walking her dog, Vermouth receives a text from the boss instructing her to crush it. Back on the submarine, Vodka orders Naomi to assist the organization in operating the system. When Naomi refuses, Vodka threatens harm to her father, an EU Parliament member. Using the system, the organization locates Naomi's father, prompting the Pacific Buoy to dispatch Jodie and Camel to protect him in Germany. The FBI agents are distracted by an accident caused by Korn, who later shoots down Naomi's father. Believing her father to be dead, Naomi breaks down, and Kerr, recalling her own experience with her father, feels helpless. Locked back in the room, Haibara attempts to comfort Naomi, assuring her that they will escape. However, Naomi doubts the ability of children like Haibara and Conan to make a difference. As Jin's arrival time nears, the submarine ascends, enabling Conan to reach Haibara through her DB badge. Conan reveals that the submarine was submerged the entire time Haibara was kidnapped, indicating the presence of an underwater hatch for entry and exit. Kur overhears this, aware that she is bugged by Haibara, and deliberately asks Vodka about the procedures for entering and exiting the submarine. Vodka explains everything to Kur, inadvertently providing Haibara with the means to escape. Conan and Agasa set off on a boat to reach the submarine's location. As Vodka, Kur, and the submarine crew warmly welcome Jin on board, Haibara and Naomi manage to escape from their confined room and prepare to exit the submarine through its torpedo hatch. When Jin arrives to find an empty room, a crew member discloses that someone has entered the torpedo hatch, attempting to flee. While waiting for the hatch to open and swimming out, Haibara senses Jin's arrival. Unable to open the hatch door to apprehend them, Jin opts to pull the launch lever, an action that would instantly end the lives of the two. Just as he is about to execute this drastic measure, Kur intervenes by pushing his hand away. Kur argues that they need Naomi alive for the mission and Haibara to unravel the mystery of her shrinkage. However, Jin remains unconvinced, drawing his gun on Kur, suspecting her to be a traitor. This standoff buys enough time for the hatch to open, allowing Naomi and Haibara to safely swim out of the submarine. The confrontation between Jin and Kur is momentarily halted when a crew member alerts them to the escaping duo, prompting the submarine to pursue. In reality, it was a decoy underwater scooter crafted by the professor and sent by Conan, who has now reached the submarine. Conan, Haibara, and Naomi make their way to the surface as the submarine leaves to chase the decoy. Naomi and Haibara are brought back to safety, much to Rant's relief. Haibara expresses concern about the organization now being aware of her identity, but Conan believes he might find a solution if he can catch Pinga. Meanwhile, the organization realizes they've been chasing a decoy. Vermouth then transmits more data from the identification system to Jin, revealing flaws that led to identifying individuals worldwide with similar features to Sherry. Enraged and recognizing the system's obsolescence, Jin decides to sink the Pacific buoy following orders from Rum, even though Rum contemplates the system's potential in tracking down the boss. As Naomi and Haibara are escorted to the medical bay on the Pacific buoy, Sato brings in a few cups of warm beverages for them and Conan to fend off the chill. While holding the cup, Conan has a sudden realization about the culprit's identity and swiftly heads to the Pacific buoy's main room. Upon entering the main room, Conan stuns Kogoro and begins his deduction. Due to the unplanned nature of both Haibara's kidnapping and Leonhardt's murder, it becomes apparent that the chemical used to incapacitate both victims is the same, indicating a single culprit. The so-called surveillance footage of Leonhardt's suicide is revealed as a deep fake. In reality, Leonhardt was rendered unconscious in his room and transported to the cafe using the same method employed in Naomi's earlier kidnapping. Once there, the culprit poisoned Leonhardt before assuming his identity and presenting the footage of the apparent suicide. The giveaway to the culprit's identity lies in the way they handled the cup after taking a sip. Conan observes that the culprit wiped the part of the cup where they sipped, a habit typically associated with ladies, to remove lipstick stains. This leads to the revelation that the culprit is Grace, who, in actuality, is a man in disguise, Pinga. It appears that Pinga adopted the habit of wiping the stain as part of his disguise routine. Pinga discards his disguise and attempts to flee, prompting Rand to step in for another confrontation. However, the altercation is cut short when Pinga reveals a knife. Conan pursues Pinga through the Pacific buoy to the escape hatch and confronts him. In an attempt to provoke Pinga, Conan calls him a street-level djinn. However, Pinga counters by disclosing that he knows Conan is Kudo Shinichi and plans to present him to Rum, aiming for a promotion and the tarnishing of Jin's reputation. Conan narrowly eludes Pinga before the escape hatch seals shut. Magyar and Sato arrive, attempting to arrest Pinga, but they are unable to open the hatch. Conan apologizes to Sato for his earlier outburst. As Pinga escapes to rendezvous with Jin and the submarine, Conan receives a call from Amuro. Amuro, shocked to learn Conan is still on the Pacific buoy, urgently advises him to leave as the organization is set to destroy the facility. Amuro has also relayed the warning to Kuroda, who orders the evacuation of all civilians. Akai contacts Conan as well while en route to the Pacific buoy with a weapon from the US military capable of neutralizing the submarine. Despite initial reservations about using US weapons in Japan, Amuro acknowledges the urgency of the situation and recognizes Akai as the organization's top sniper. Akai informs Conan that he needs to know the submarine's location to take it out. The submarine initiates multiple torpedo launches toward the Pacific buoy. Yosuke counters by deploying decoys, successfully diverting the torpedoes. However, Vermouth remotely disables the decoys, allowing 2 torpedoes to strike the Pacific buoy, initiating its collapse and prompting Yosuke to call for a full evacuation. Agasa, Conan, and Haibara embark on a boat to reach the sea. Using his array of gadgets, Conan submerges to locate the submarine. The impact of torpedoes hitting the Pacific buoy nearly exposes him, but he skillfully employs his ball dispensing belt, creating underwater fireworks that reveal the submarine's outline to Akai. Akai seizes the opportunity and fires the weapon, effectively disabling the submarine. In the midst of the chaos, Conan loses his breathing device and falls unconscious. As he begins to sink, Haibara dives in, revives Conan, and they share a breathing device while ascending to the surface. Unaware of the submarine's disabled state, Pinga swims towards it and texts Jin for entry, receiving no reply. Realizing Jin has intentionally left him stranded, Pinga discovers the submarine is set to self-destruct to protect sensitive organization information. With Jin, Vodka, Kerr, and the crew already escaped, the submarine explodes, claiming Pinga's life. Haibara and Conan resurface on the wreckage of the Pacific buoy. Haibara falls unconscious, and Ran attempts to revive her. In a surprising turn of events, Haibara kisses Ran, signaling Conan's return to consciousness. Naomi's father is revealed to be alive and wounded from the sniping. At the airport, Haibara bids farewell to Naomi, who is departing to establish another Pacific buoy at an undisclosed location. Naomi expresses gratitude for reuniting with Shiho. Amuro informs Conan that Vermouth purposely disguised herself as individuals resembling Sherry to expose the identification system's flaw. It is also revealed that Pinga's whereabouts are unknown, preserving Conan's identity. Wondering why Vermouth aided Haibara, Conan is observed from a distance by the old lady Haibara helped earlier, who is revealed to be Vermouth in disguise. She cryptically mentions that the reason for her assistance is for the silver bullet to discover, as the camera zooms in on a Fusey Campbell pin. Thank you for staying with us until the end of the video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to support our channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated on upcoming exciting videos. See you later.